In a small village, on the bank of a picturesque river, a story steeped in mystery and mysticism unfolded. This story left in the memory of the locals not only warm rays of sunshine, but also dark shades of tragedy. 5 people found their deaths in the waters of this river, and while initially it may have seemed accidental, the strange circumstances aroused suspicion. Bites and blue stains were found on the bodies of the drowned men, as if something mysterious and sinister lurked beneath the water. Local residents began to discuss this unusual series of incidents, and in the center of attention was an old woman who lived in the village. The old woman recalled an ancient story that unmarried drowned women could turn into mermaids. These aquatic creatures were famous for their cruelty, tickling, choking and biting people and then dragging them into the depths of the river. In a very unusual way, the old woman connected the recent drowning of a girl with the alleged deeds of mermaids. The old woman's assertion caused ridicule from the neighbors, who considered her assumptions to be pure heresy. However, irony turned to tragedy when the next day after the ridicule another person drowned in the river. Drunken guests who had come to the settlement ventured out for a swim, and one of them unhappily drowned. Fate seemed to refute what the old woman had said, but it ended as mysteriously as it had begun. The last drowned man turned out to be a man whose shoulder clearly showed bite marks. From that moment on, the river, as if breaking off, stopped its terrible mischief, and silence reigned over the village again. A few years later, one of the drunken bathing guests returned to the village. In his story there was a surprising information about night visits of the old woman to the river. The old woman allegedly communicated with the drowned girl and persuaded her to go to the cemetery. Under the leadership of the old woman, the men even dug a grave, and allegedly the girl listened to her call and went to her final rest. In the morning the grave was filled in, and a stone was placed in its place. This strange accomplishment raised a new wave of talk in the settlements, making the inhabitants once again think about the mysteries of the river and the mysterious old woman, whose words turned out to be not so childish fantasies as it seemed initially.